Thank you guys for joining me today on Just a Bit Controversial. I'm going to go ahead and skip the intro and get right into it. This is a story about a beautiful 16-year-old girl whose life was tragically taken by a Doraville, at the time, a Doraville police officer, which is located in Georgia. And it's not like a normal interaction that you would normally hear about anything that happens with police. She wasn't shot. She wasn't involved in no traffic stop. She wasn't involved in no type of stop whatsoever. In fact, she had a clean record. Susana, 16 at the time, loved to sing, loved to play guitar. She was a good kid with her whole life ahead of her. On July 26th of 2022, she went to visit a friend. Her friend lived in an apartment complex where this individual you're looking at here, which is by the name of Miles Bryant, lived and also provided security for the complex. At around 9:40 p.m., she ended up starting her walk home, as she normally does, and was then kidnapped. Between then and 10:30, where her phone pinged far away, she was taken by Miles, sexually assaulted, and murdered, and thrown in the woods like a dog. In the process of dumping the body in the woods, Mr. Bryant here drops his gun. Not his duty weapon, his personal weapon. The very next day, on July the 27th, 2022, he filed a police report indicating that they broke in his car and stole his weapon. He was charged with a false report after that because when they discovered the body, his weapon was not far from the body. So this is why he's being charged at the moment, okay, with dumping a body and filing a police report, a false report. The warrant that they had for him, unfortunately, does not indicate the cause of death. What we do know, and this is according to the chief of police, okay, is that she was not shot. Most likely she was strangled. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
A former police officer remains behind bars without bond, accused of concealing a 16-year-old girl's death. Good evening, I'm Faith Jesse.
And I'm Jennifer Bellamy. Today, 11 Alive obtained warrants showing the possible connection between Miles Bryant and Susana Morales. The two lived close to one another when she disappeared 6 months ago in Gwinnett County. We have team coverage for you tonight. 11 Alive's Bobeth Yates has been speaking with the Morales family about their reaction to these newest developments, but Brittany Kleinpeter begins our coverage digging deeper into the warrants accusing Bryant of getting caught up in a lie the day after Morales disappeared.
According to arrest warrants, we know that the 22-year-old is accused of falsely reporting a crime and concealing the death of 16-year-old Susana Morales. Here is Officer Miles Bryant in court.
Mr. Miles, I show that you have two warrants, a misdemeanor and a felony. Do you already know what those are?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your bond was denied by the judge that signed the warrant. Now, the reason given was that you are a danger to the community.
An arrest warrant obtained by 11 Alive today accuses Miles Bryant of falsely reporting his car was broken into at his Norcross apartment complex on July 27th and his gun as being stolen. That was one day after Morales went missing in that same area. Bryant is accused of later dumping Morales' naked body in the woods. Today, a judge assigned him an attorney, cautioning him not to.
What the charge that he got is more like an accidental death. That she died around his presence accidentally and he decided to dump the body. Okay? That is not the case. What you're looking at right there is the eyes of a stone cold killer. A stone cold killer who took the life of a child for his own sexual gratification. He should have never put on that uniform, never had the opportunity to be in law enforcement. He is a complete disgrace. He is a monster. He wasn't an officer that turned bad when he became an officer. He was a bad guy that became an officer. This is beyond tragic. Beyond tragic. That she would lose her life at such a young age.
Talk about his case with anyone else.
Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen in your case. People who start telling you that they know what's going to happen in your case have no clue.
The arrest warrant shows Bryant lived on Windscape Lane near Norcross, close to where Morales lived. She was last heard from when she texted her mother while walking home from a friend's house around 9:40 p.m. on July 26. Police believe at some point she likely got into a vehicle because her phone pinged around 10:21 near Oak Clock Trace. That was the last time anyone knew her whereabouts until her body was found just last week near the Gwinnett-Barrow County line. Investigators are still trying to determine how she died, and the warrant doesn't offer any insight into that. Bryant worked for the Dorfield Police Department, but as news of his arrest broke yesterday, we learned that he had been fired. Gwinnett County Police tell us this is still a very active investigation and more charges could be filed. No next court date has been set. In Gwinnett County, Brittany Kleinpeter, 11 Alive News.
Bobeth Yates continues our team coverage tonight. She talked with Morales' family and Miles Bryant's neighbors. Bobeth joins us live from the apartment complex where the officer lived. Hi, Bobeth.
Hey, Faith. Well, Susana Morales was last seen walking down this sidewalk on Singleton Road. If you follow me, you can see this is the complex where that officer lived, and she vanished while walking down this road in the direction to this complex.
It's unbelievable, honestly. There's no words I can say, honestly, to explain.
Jasmine Morales says her family is shocked to learn now former Dorville police officer Miles Bryant has been arrested in connection with the death of her sister Susana Morales, who went missing 6 months ago.
There's no other words besides that it sucks that it took so long, but I'm guessing that him being an officer has to do with that.
The night of July 26, surveillance video shows Susana walking down Singleton Road in the direction of her home before she disappeared. Court records indicate Bryant lived near Morales' home. Today, we went to another address in Norcross. It was listed in Bryant's jail records to see if a family member would talk to us. No one came to the door. Well, our search for answers didn't just take us to the address listed on Officer Bryant's jail records, but also to this apartment complex where he lived with his girlfriend and was taken into custody. And now neighbors who live in the area are in disbelief.
It's hard to just put my mind around it right now, that this is the person that's been living over here in this complex. Like, what?
The resident asked us not to disclose her identity out of fear of retaliation, but says while she did not know Brian personally, he has introduced himself several times as a police officer who also moonlighted as security at the complex. Another neighbor shared this cell phone clip showing what they describe as investigators collecting a bedsheet from Brian's personal car. Then it and his police car were towed away. And when we asked her about his demeanor for the past 6 months, that resident responded,
Smiling, laughing, just living his life. And it's a whole poor baby that's laid out. Like, what? Are you serious?
The Gwinnett Police Department says their investigation continues, and they and the family are asking anyone with information about this crime to come forward. In Gwinnett, Bobeth Yates, 11 Alive News.
Jasmine, the older sister, was later interviewed again by another station, okay? And she made a statement that it's stuck with me, okay? And if Miles Bryant was a smart man, he'd take heed and take notice to the message she had for him. And she stated, I quote, "He doesn't know what is coming for him. I promise that everything is on the table. He will pay for it in this life and the next." You have to understand where you're going, brother. They don't take very lightly to child murderers, child rapists, okay, or people that commit sexual acts to children. And the fact that you're a former police officer, those three things, they're definitely going to have fun with you in jail. You better remain in protective custody. You don't know who her family is, who her uncle is, who, you know, you never know. And the fact that in prisons, yeah, man, they're majority blacks, Latinos, and whites. May the gates of hell open up and suck you in, and you suffer every single day of your life until your life is gone, until you take that last breath. May you feel every single pain that she felt and worse, every pain that her mother felt. One of the things that gets me pissed off the most about this whole case is the fact that this thing could have actually been possibly prevented. See, Mr. Miles, this isn't his first rodeo with having issues with women or stalking women. Okay? Check this out.
This investigation, another woman says this former Doraville police officer had her scared for her life. Ariana Manise is following the latest developments for us. Ariana, this woman told police Miles Bryant was stalking her and wished they'd done more about it.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning. That Snellville woman, she tells us that she reported Miles Bryant to police months before and after Susana Morales disappeared in June. Now, take a look at your screen. This is video we obtained from a neighbor's doorbell camera, which Alicia Bates says she believes is Miles Bryant attempting to enter her home. She says Bryant is a childhood friend who had recently tried to reconnect with her, but she stopped returning his texts. She tells us she reported him to Doraville and Gwinnett County Police. Now, Doraville police, they tell us that there is no proof it was Bryant who was committing any crimes. They told Bryant of the stalking complaint and, quote, the behavior stopped. Now, we're still working to find out what Gwinnett...
Quote, the behavior stopped.
deal with her complaint, but Bates says she now wonders if she could have been a victim as well. Take a listen.
Oh, she was definitely going to be a
So
victim.
I would have been the first victim that they knew about had he got in and I was home. He did get to Susana and then he came back for me in December. So I feel like had they investigated my case more, Susana could have been here, and I do want him to be punished for his actions.
Keep in mind, her initial case was in March. Her initial report was done in March on this man. And not only did she contacted the Gwinnett Police Department, but she contacted the Doraville Police Department to try to get some help. Her house was literally broken into by the guy. And they give him a warning? Come on, man. Without a doubt, there was some favoritism going on here.
Now, Bates goes on to tells us that if and when Miles Bryant goes to trial for those charges he's facing in connection to Susana Morales' death, she says that she will be willing to testify. Back to you.
Ariana, thank you.
This is what I want
Grand
people to
Canyon
understand, okay? And especially those that have children, okay? You have to protect your babies. You gotta, especially little girls, all right? If your child, and I know this might sound harsh, if you got a daughter and you are unable to drive her to her friend's house or pick her up or the friend that she's visiting, her parents can't drive her back and pick her up, then she has no business walking at 10 o'clock at night. She has no business being out there, 16 years old at that time. Now, sure, 9:40 p.m. when she was attempting to walk home at 16 is legal. But we have to protect our little girls. You never know what's going to happen. This monster preyed on her. She was at the wrong place at the wrong time. He was security at the very damn complex that she went to visit. This man is the scum of the earth. And once this case is over with, I am 100% confident he will be charged with murder. Period. First degree. Please, those of you guys that are watching, pray for the family of Susana Morales. Pray for her friends. Kiss your babies. Tell them you love them. Because you know what? Sometimes tomorrow's never promised. And it's a shame that this beautiful young lady had to lose her life to a scumbag who took an oath to preserve life above everything else. That is the top mission for a police officer, is to protect life. And he failed that. May you burn in hell, you piece of shit. That's all I gotta say. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good night.